This might look like a Maryn, but it's not. It's Maryn handles with an Opus blade. Subtle difference. It looks different. If you can tell, you can tell, but I don't really want to pick it up. But the Maryn blade is over here. I have washers sitting kind of precariously on it. I will say that the Opus washers, I kept the washers with the blade. It's a bit of a tight fit, so unfortunately there's a little bit more play. But like, it does have handle swing. But let's... Huh. Honestly, this feels like a match made in heaven. It almost feels like the Opus blade came first, and then they went back to the Maryn blade. But no, the Opus blade came second. I will say, honestly though, there's something about the Opus blade momentum. Wow! Holy shit, those rollovers are crazy. Rollovers with Opus blade is fucking bonkers. And hello, that was a little spooky. And with how hefty these handles are, it honestly feels pretty evenly matched. Like, I think the Opus blade best fits on the Maryn handles. But I'm also coming to terms with the fact that I think I just don't love the Opus blade as much as I want to. I thought the Opus blade was hot shit, and every time I flip it, I just go, I don't love it. But I will say that the Opus blade feels really good on the Maryn handles. There's a little bit of weirdness, just a little bit of weirdness that I think is just Opus specific, and I don't know what. I cannot tell, but there's something about the Opus blade that just feels a little weird when you flip sometimes. But like, this is so balanced. Like, the jimping on the Maryn is like not super duper deep. I think it's deeper on... Oh man, I just knocked a bunch of hardware around. Okay, the jimping on the Maryn is... I don't think it's as deep as... Yeah. Its successors are definitely deeper in terms of jimping. You can even tell with the lighting. So that's the heavier a Balisong is, the more grip I want from the jimping. If I'm gonna be doing ladders. Holy shit, though. Honestly, the Maryn handles Opus blade is like, this thing's fucking... Okay, let's weigh this. 4.34. Honestly, still not as heavy as I expected. It feels heavier than it is. Because 4.3 something is like close to a Kraken. And I still am in shock and awe that the fucking Sholo is like 4.6 and it just doesn't feel like it. This though, oh my, like, holy shit. Like, this thing just carries momentum like crazy. Like, really well, but also like spooky. Good thing this Opus blade is like not the sharpest, but like, oh my, I don't know if you can see how fucking hard I'm going on with these. Like, the thing is, like, it has crazy momentum, but it also feels like it floats because of just how well balanced this is. It shocks me that this blade does not belong on these handles, because it feels like it should. And legitimately, if for whatever reason Machine-Wise ever brings back Maryn handles, Maryn V2 or whatever the fuck, like, deeper jimping, slightly nicer chamfers, like, it's so close. Maybe more interesting face holes. Like, the biggest thing about the Maryn handles is that they are heavier. Not that it's channel. I mean, like, I guess that's a factor. But like, channel versus chain, which doesn't really affect grip. You could argue that it does, but like, I don't really know. But yeah, the Opus blade belongs on Maryn handles. That's my opinion. This, like, yeah, I think I don't love the Opus blade in general. But like, if I were to put the Opus blade on something, Slift T handles and Maryn handles, it belongs on Balisongs that are just heavier. These handles are just heavier, as is the Slift T, and I think it flips like a fucking dream. If you want something that feels similar, I think the Slift T V2 handles are probably the closest that you can get. They don't feel the same in the hand as the Maryn, but like, holy shit, like, I'm just going to town on this. God damn. Ow! Fuck. Yeah, I gotta be careful because it is a lot of weight that you're throwing around. And so sometimes you kind of have to you gotta let it guide you. And if you try and force it to do something that, you want it to go in a direction that you want it to go in, it's possible that, you'll flub a trick and you'll fucking hammer a goddamn knife into your finger. Thankfully, this knife is not sharp. It's a real knife, but it's just not very sharp at all. It could be sharpened. And I got it not very sharp. I'm sending it not very sharp. So if you're watching this and you're like, oh no, that's not my problem. Nor was it my concern. Yeah, the Opus doesn't belong on the Opus. The Opus blade does not feel like it belongs on the Opus handles. It just doesn't. The Maryn platform is really cool. And yes, there are other knives. I always want to point out, I think at some point, someone said on YouTube that Machine-Wise is the only company that has all the Balisong blades and handles be interchangeable, which is just not correct, because Frankenforge now has a fourth handle called the Ion. There's the Galvanus and the Amp, which are both channel aluminum, and then there's the Ion and Voltaic, which are both Chanwich titanium, and the Ion has several versions. There's some with holes and some without holes. It's to the point where I'm like, at one point are these even different knives? Because the blade probably is what's defining the thing the most. And also Black Balisong has some interchangeable blades, but it's not as easy to figure out in a sense, largely because the website's primarily in Spanish. Yeah, there's a translation. It's it's okay. It is a Mexican company, so it is very reasonable to be primarily Spanish. It's not super well explained if blades and handles are interchangeable, but that's the impression that I'm getting, at least. But Maryn platform is really good. I love the Seraph. The Seraph is one of my favorite knives. The Maryn is a very interesting version. I say version because it just doesn't feel... It almost feels like the same knife, but Seraph heavy with different holes. It's similar in all sorts of ways. The Opus and the Seraph feel basically the same in terms of the handles. Just the differences are so minuscule to me. And the biggest reason why I would choose the Seraph over the Opus is because it sounds, in my opinion, a lot better. The Maryn, while feeling different from those two handles, is not so far off, though. And I tried a Prisma V2, which was the 6061. I have not tried a Prisma Pro, but I said in my Prisma V... it's called Prisma Pro, but it's actually a Prisma V2 video. Because Machine-Wise didn't make up their mind about how to name their knives. But the Prisma V2, I say, is a much more inexpensive Seraph. If you want a Seraph, but you cannot afford the $600 price tag, which, okay, yeah, totally understandable. The Prisma Pro is closer to $200. And if you wanted to get a Seraph blade, it's going to cost more, of course. It's going to be closer to $300. But the handles are not that far off. The Seraph has this gorgeous chevron pattern, and it's grip, and it's nice, and yada, yada, yada. But the Prisma Pro's not that far off. I sold my Prisma V2 because I just had a Seraph, and I was like, well, every time I flip this, I think to myself, I'd rather just be flipping the Seraph. The Maryn does have a different enough flavor. And the Opus blade on it is so fucking fun. The Maryn blade on the Maryn handles is really fun. It's just more handle-wise. It still fans very nicely. It doesn't feel very wobbly. But the Opus blade on the Maryn handles just... You can go so hard with... rollovers feel almost like I'm cheating. It's so easy. It almost just... it has the momentum and the floatiness of a blade with enough weight and handles that match the blade weight near perfectly. It's crazy. Now, that said, I'm not going to keep this configuration because the Opus is already spoken for. And I'm going to have another knife eventually in the future that you will see. I kind of docked up on the business. That's on me. Because I feel like I'm over trading, but oh well. That's kind of on me. Anyways. Yeah. If you have Maryn handles, put an Opus blade on it. This thing is fucking fire. Holy shit. It honestly just feels like a better Slifty V2 in the weight and the momentum and all that. Like I think the Slifty V2 is fine. It's similar but different. This is much more similar. I would say these are all in the same branch, and then the Slifty V2 is like is a branch that branches outwards and parallel down. And you know, like it comes from the same root. It's on the Maryn platform, but like the Maryn it feels more directly related to the Seraph. And if you like how the flipping of the Slifty feels, the Slifty V2, the Maryn handles are just like that, but feels more like a fucking Seraph and Prisma and Prisma Pro, in the way that I like this curve round. It's just good. I don't know. Personally, if I could replace the Slifty V2 with Maryn handles, I would. I obviously don't have that power, but like that's my preference. And obviously the Slifty V2 is for some people. It's not my preferred thing. I know that Chimera EE loves it. He thinks it's the hottest thing since sliced bread. But yeah, the weight and feel of flipping of the Slifty V2 handles with the design of the Prisma Pro line, you get the Maryn. And like with the Prisma, like with the Maryn and the Slifty V2 Opus blade on those, fucking, this shit's insane. This shit's fucking crazy fun. Yeah. The Opus blade doesn't belong on the Opus handles. It belongs on the Slifty V2 and the Maryn. Anyways, thanks for checking out this video. If you want to see my other comparisons on how the Opus blade feels on other Balisongs, aka the Slifty and the Seraph handles, I have a video on that. I have a video unboxing the Maryn, and I also have a video comparing the Opus handles with the Seraph handles. And yeah, there's just so much to talk about with Machine-Wise knives because they're so goddamn good, and there's so much variety with, I mean, like, let's be honest, 5 knives is a lot for a lot of makers. Yeah, Squid Industries has like 8 million, but like, I just reviewed T7 Metalworks' Xiphoid, and that's, to my knowledge, the only Balisong that he's made. And you know, the Vortex, they're like, NRB has like about that many, but they're not interchangeable. Like how the combinations of Machine-Wise knives, it's not endless, but it's a fucking lot. It's really great. So shoutouts to Machine-Wise. I'm not telling you what to do, but if you bring back the Maryn handles and you bring back the Maryn blade, they're really good. They're really good. They're really fucking good, and they're different enough from your current lineup that I think it deserves to exist. And I get it, you know, you do whatever the fuck you want, but like, personally, bring the Maryn back, in my opinion, because holy fucking shit. Do a Maryn V2. The Maryn blade, keep as is. Maryn V2 handles, oh so slightly different. As long as it feels the same and is maybe a little bit more comfortable, it's gonna be fucking fire. I don't know. That's my opinion. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. Check out the other ones. Subscribe for pseudo-daily uploads. Comment your thoughts. What do you think is best on the Maryn handles? What do you think the Maryn blade is best on? I don't fucking know. What is your favorite Machine-Wise knife? What's your favorite fucking color? What's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Maryn on Opus blade. Have a good one. Don't eat ice cream. That's Opus blade Maryn.